Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I'm live in San Francisco, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and it is Better Call Saul time, season 4, episode 4, Talk. Another good episode, but I think we're all noticing that Jimmy's being put on the sidelines. And I have a theory about this, and I think we're all being set up. So, not to worry, but I've seen some scuttlebutt about Jimmy's story not being the most interesting, but I think it will be by show's end. And I'm sure all of you kind of see that coming too. But Mike Mike and Nacho. This was their episode. Oh God, poor Nacho. I feel so bad for this dude. Yeah, he got himself into it, but damn, they are putting him through the ringer. All for theatrics. Yeah, he's basically being put through hell. This is a man who is damned, basically. And I don't think it's going to look good for him in the end. I can't see him surviving this series. We don't see him in Breaking Bad. So, it's probably going to end badly. Who knows? Who knows? And another character who didn't really shine, that didn't give her a lot, but Kim is, God, she's amazing. And what she's going through right now has me puzzled a little bit too. But let's start breaking down the episode. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our new subscribers. It's been a great week. Got to say, it's been a great week. And I have to thank Midnight's Edge, Mecha Random 42, and Doomcock for shouting us out so much. We've gotten a lot of new subscribers, so I'm very grateful to have that. All right, so we start out with a kid watching his dad lay in some cement, and it's kind of cute. He's sitting there watching Pops, lay the frame down, mix the cement, laying down the cement. We don't know whose kid this is. We do know it's in the past. We see an older car. We hear a little old song playing in the background. And as we back out, we see the cement being laid out. We see little Maddie writing his name in the cement. So it's Mike and Maddie. And then it goes into a group setting where you see Mike, and he's in a grieving counseling group, and everybody looks stunned. And he says, "You wanted me to talk? I talked." And that was it. Then we roll credits, and that was brilliant. So I assumed he had talked about with this group about what happened to Maddie. We find out if that's right or wrong a little later in the episode, but yeah, seeing the stunned group there was pretty funny. And yeah, so we also run into we're walking through like a drug hovel. It looks like a burnt out hotel or something, apartment complex, shop. I don't know what it is. And we follow a guy. The camera tracks through a guy walking through people, getting high. It looks like, I don't know, one of the seventh layer of hell. And it looks very familiar. It looks like some places I've actually been to go get high. This guy walks up, hits a big metal door. They let him in. And we see a key get pulled out. And there's some kind of a sale going down. The sale goes down, and it is one of Gus's guys making the sale. So I was assuming at first that this might be trying to find, outside sellers. He was asked to do, he was asked last episode. Gus was asked last episode to find some outside suppliers. But that wouldn't make sense because Gus's guys were selling stuff to them. So I'm like, what is this? But then I remembered the drugs that were taken from the drive-by. And, we know how detailed Gus is. So this must be, him covering some tracks here. And he is very, very good at that. So what happens after that is very entertaining and unbelievable. And that's, to me anyway, this is the much more interesting story going on in the episode is Nacho's story. Nacho got sidelined a little bit. What I thought his episode was supposed to shine was last week, but it looks like this was his episode to shine, which is great. So the drug deal goes down. Everything's looking good. Now we see Jimmy get woken up by a cell phone call, and he gets a job. He gets a job offer at a cell phone company, but he promptly turns it down. He says, "I've got other plans," and turns it down. then we see him, and Kim's in the shower at this time. Then we see him, later on, he's shaving, and Kim comes up to him and asks, she's looking more concerned. And after Jimmy had been so quiet that first episode, we've just seen Kim observing Jimmy and the lack of his grieving for Chuck, how it's just been pretty much just switched off from guy who was completely grieving and completely silent to, hey, let's get up early and make you breakfast and go look for jobs and stuff. So she clearly thinks something is wrong. So she offers him a number to a counselor. And she's, Jimmy's kind of stunned by this, but she's all, hey, it works for some people. So to divert her, he goes, hey, by the way, I got a job. I got a job offer. I'm going to be shift supervisor at the cell phone company, the job he had just turned down. So after she leaves, he calls back that company and asks for the job. He said, I've changed my mind. Hopefully that job is still available. And it is, lucky for Jimmy. But why he lied to Kim, we don't know. It's obvious. It's Jimmy is yearning for another life. Now, why is he yearning for this? Is it through grieving for Chuck, or is it just this is how Jimmy always has been, and this just woke it back up? We'll have to see. We will have to see. We see Kim going into a courtroom, and she had been dropped off at a court earlier in the season. We're not really sure why. We kind of find out why this episode. She's observing court cases, and this is after her disillusionment of working for Mesa Verde and seeing the aggressive expansion, and her second, guessing her career and like, is this what I want to be doing? I just want to be a tool for, a big bank. Is this what I got into law for? And she's observing, and this judge notices her in there and asks for him or her to meet him during the next recess, because it's in the middle of a court case. And if you all recognize the judge, that was Neelix from Star Trek Voyager. It was good to see Neelix back and looking good and looking very human and judge-like. And he asks him into the office, and they have a little talk, a little small talk. And then he goes, I know what you're up to. Basically, he's like, you're trying to, you think you're the first person to troll my courtroom to see if they like why they got back, have, second guessing their career in law. She had told him she's working on Mesa Verde, and that's when he got it. It kind of clicked because he was asking her, he's like, what the hell are you doing here? What? And she had told him that she had left HHM and she's working on her own, and she's working for Mesa Verde. And that's when it all clicked for the judge. Like, oh, so you're sitting here observing, basically you're trolling my court to see if you could find some law or something that'll bring you back. He even, kind of trolls her a little bit by going, hey, I've got this case you want to help me with. I can't give you any details. I'll give you the broad parameters. And he tells her the plot to the verdict, which she figures out. He's all, yeah. So you're not going to save yourself here. Don't be, hanging around and disrupting my court. Go out and find yourself. And we think she's going to, walk off with her tail between her legs after he kind of gave it to her. And when he walks back into his court, she's back in there observing with that very stern look on her face, that very Kim look on her face, which was interesting, which was really interesting and pretty funny that they bring up the plot of the verdict. I love, yeah. Paul Newman, good movie. Yeah. So Kim stays. And then we have at the diner, we have Mike and Anita sitting at the diner, and Anita is in the group with them, and she's kind of hitting on him. She's like, hey, you want to ditch group tonight? You want to, I know somebody who plays piano in this band. And he says, no, I promised I'd be at the group. He promised his daughter-in-law I'd be at the group. So he's going to go. And then he starts talking about a guy in the group who's, basically, faking the reason. He's basically fight clubbing. He's going there for attention or doing whatever. But it's a grief counseling group, and this guy's talking about his wife dying, and Mike, being the good ex-cop that he is, sees all the inconsistencies in his story and says, yeah, that guy's full of shit. And Anita's all, really? Okay, I'll bet you. So they bet $10 and talks her back into going to group. And she's all, you have a very suspicious nature. And he's all, yep. Yeah, I do. I do. So we get to Jimmy's first day at work at the cellular place, and the only phone call he gets is from his boss, saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Yeah, and Jimmy brings up the store is pretty dead. He's all, "Yeah, it's a dead location." Jimmy asked to move, and the boss says, "Well, maybe in a couple weeks." And this is typical with these cell phone companies, actually, because I'm guessing that Jimmy works mainly on commission, and they just needed somebody to basically fill a hole at this shop, at this dead shop. So he's all, well, when Jimmy asks for a transfer, the boss says, "We'll think about it in a couple weeks." And Jimmy just starts bouncing a racquetball against the window for half the day out of pure boredom. And yeah, nobody comes in, nothing happens. Pure waste of Jimmy's talents on so many levels. We see the Salamanca brothers and Nacho, and they are back at that drug hovel I was speaking about earlier. And this is where Nacho IDs the people who attacked him, quote unquote. One of the guys, some guy walking out of the car, and he's all, "Yep, that's the guy who tailed us. That's the guy who followed us. So maybe we should come back tonight and hit him quietly." And then, excuse me, the Salamanca brothers get up, pack their bags, and Nacho's like stunned. They're gonna like go and basically kill everybody right now. Like no time like the present. Love the Salamanca brothers. They don't talk at all, but they are great. And as they're walking away, Nacho's all, "Amigos, un momento." Yeah, and you see just a look on their face. They loaded one bag, got some pretty heavy artillery, and basically start shooting everybody up. They stab a few people too, and they get locked down in there, and yeah, all hell breaks loose. And you just feel bad for Nacho. You see him sitting there thinking about this, going, and we just see it through Nacho's perspective. We hear all the gunshots in the background, and you're focusing on him, and you could just tell what's going through his mind. It's like, I just got all these people killed. I don't know how much he really cares, but he wants to get out of this lifestyle. And now he's also in the precarious position of, they left him in the car. He's injured, but shouldn't he possibly help? That would look really good on his part. They would get respect. Also, I think it's kind of expected to be helping and not just letting them go in there. But now he's got dual motivations. It would be very good for him if they died, or maybe not. I'm not sure. So yeah, all hell breaks loose. And Nacho decides to go in, and he could barely move. He's still, fucked up from his injuries from last week, where he got shot in the gut. He got shot a couple times, and he didn't get he got patched up by a vet, not a good one either. And the vet won't even see. Yeah, poor Nacho, Dina. I really felt bad for him. You really have feel it for Nacho, and you just see like the slow downward spiral that this guy's. I mean, yeah, he's damned. He's done. So hopefully his dad doesn't go down with him. That's all we can ask. His poor papa. So yeah, Nacho gets out. He has to cock his gun with his legs. He's so fucked up. He can't cock it with his other hand. He does take out one guy, but he's like stumbling through, and he sees that one of the Salamanca brothers is pinned in that room with the big metal door I was speaking about earlier. And he's surrounded. He's getting, he's getting pretty fucked up. There's no way for him to go out. We don't see the other Salamanca brothers, so we don't know what happened. So Nacho is weighing his options. He's like, it'd be probably pretty good for me if they died right now, but I should probably help them, because if they end up living for some reason, and if he looks like he made an effort out there, he's going to gain a lot of respect and their trust again. So they won't think anything's up with the whole Gus thing. So it is a smart move on his part, even though he could get shot and die. He doesn't end up being much help. He's trying to aim his gun, and he's pretty weak. And then the other Salamanca brother comes up behind him and takes out the other guys who have the other one pinned in. And one of them is shot. One of the Salamanca brothers is shot, but you can barely tell because he's not wincing or anything. These guys are the Terminators, basically. They would be pretty good Terminators too, if you think about it. You can hear that Terminator music in the background with them walking around. So yeah, and one of them nods to Nacho, which is the equivalent of a hug from everybody else. So that was good. So Nacho did good on that one. And boy, it probably cost him his life though. We got that infection to worry about. that just passed the sniff test barely from the vet. He really does need to go to the doctor, but he can't. He can't. So we see Gustavo come in and in the aftermath of all this, and he talks to Nacho, and Nacho susses out what this is all for. When he sees Gustavo, and when he talks to him, he goes, basically, this is for territory, isn't it? This is territory that the cartel can't give to the Salamancas, so they're going to give it to you. And Gus knows this, so he's using everything to his advantage right now. And frankly, everything's working for Gus. Everything is going his way so far, and we know where Gus ends up anyway. So it's pretty cool to see how it ends up there. Yeah. So and how it's going to get there, and how big of a part did Nacho play before he either runs away or dies? Who knows? So we end up back into the grieving group, and we see Stacy there too, and she's there with Mike, and she's telling a really sad story about how she's starting to forget Maddie. Like, she was making some French toast, and she said, I didn't think about Maddie. And there's been hours now where I'm not thinking about him. And the guilt that comes with this, that comes with, forgetting your loved one. And, she talks about, maybe I'll forget him completely. I know that's impossible, but what about it? And you see Mike getting emotional, and Stacy getting emotional. Before she was sharing, somebody else was sharing, and that's when Henry came in. Henry's the guy who Mike thinks is completely full of shit and doesn't really have a wife or a dead wife, and is there to just get attention. After Stacy is done sharing her heartbreaking share, Henry pipes in, and this is when Mike's all wound up from what Stacy just shared, and starts talking about how he knows how Stacy feels and how his wife wanted to go to Australia. And then Mike just starts making noise, and they're all, no, oh, what's up? Talk. And he's all, you don't want me to say what I'm thinking right now. No, this is a place for talking. He's all, okay, this guy's full of shit. His stories always change. Your inconsistencies are, I can't take him anymore. And you're here to take advantage of these poor people grieving. If I go to the library right now and find 1997 newspaper, I'm not even going to find Judy's, I forgot her last name's obituary, am I? And Henry's like, what are you talking about? And Mike just stares him down. Henry bails, and that's when we come into the beginning of the episode. He's all, you wanted me to talk? I talked. Which is that was pretty fucked up and funny and really awkward. This show's really good for awkward stuff. So we see Nacho's next scene is Nacho's dad coming home. He can tell somebody broke into the house, and he's like, hey, get out of here. I don't want any trouble. Just leave. You're not supposed to be here. Turns on the light. He sees Nacho just completely fucked up. He calls 911 to get a hospital. Nacho's all, listen, I won't be safe if you do that. Please, Pop, just, can I stay here for a night? And you see the pain in Dad's face. He's like, mijo, my God, and of course, Pop's going to let him stay. He just, he just wants to, get a good night's sleep. And it's horrible. It's horrible watching his father go through that. And Nacho, the writers really know how to pull on your freaking heartstrings on this episode. Cause that was, oh God, just imagine being a parent and, think about all the kids that actually do that to their parents and vice versa. Man, that's fucked up. Life is a bitch, but that's what this show's about. So we get back to Inspector Mike at Madrigal. He's living up to his job as a security specialist and apparently a security and safety specialist. And he's basically running around being Dennis. My co-host Dennis, if you're not aware, kind of does a job kind of like this. And he's, giving this guy hell. He opens up a truck, and, the truck is 3 degrees off. He writes him up for that. And there's a strap frayed. He's just making him replace all this shit, just basically putting these people through hell and having a really good time doing it. But then he gets, we hear his name over the PA. He gets a call, and the, infamous, he wants to see you tonight. And Mike probably knows what's up, why he wants to see him. And he kind of, grunts a little bit and hangs up the phone. And then we go back to Jimmy. So Jimmy is, spent half the day throwing a ball against a window. He gets bored. He says back in a jiff. He puts up the back in a Jiffy sign for lunch hour. runs over to a place where the guy who robbed the Hummel for him, completely blanking on his name, and I know he's in Breaking Bad. He meets him, and the guy gives him the money from selling the Hummel, and he gives him more than he asked for. And Jimmy's like, "Listen, you could have just kept that for yourself and not even told me. I'd have never known. I don't know what's up." He's all, "Hey, it was a good deal. I wish we could do that some more. You know anybody else who's got any Hummels?" And you see Jimmy thinking about it because he does. And he goes, "Nah, I don't." And it's like, good Jimmy. He's all, "That's too bad." But then Jimmy says, "There's going to be more work for you." And he's all, "Well, you got to call the vet. Every time there's a new job, there's a new phone. You never know who's listening." Then we cut back to Jimmy coming back to work, and we see him reinvigorated, and he's painting on the and again, the show does great work on making the mundane artistic. And it's a really cool scene where you're on the other side of the window and you see Jimmy painting the window and using, paint and markers, and you think he's painting like clearance sale or something like that. Excuse me. And when you back off, it's it's the best tagline ever. It says, "Is the man listening? Privacy sold here." I was like, yes, I love it. And maybe this is what brings Jimmy into the fold, because we've seen him, it's been a slow burn, the origin of Saul. And I think we're really going to, I think we've already seen the birth of Saul, but we haven't seen the name come out and stuff. That was brilliant. So I think this could lead to that. It's, that Jimmy's going to get pulled into whatever Mike or Nacho's doing in some really odd way. And poor Kim is going to get caught. The crossfire, or maybe Kim gets involved too. We don't know. So Mike, we're at a truck yard. And this is the final scene, and we see Mike is going to meet Gustavo. And we see all the henchmen. Mike is getting out, and Mike knows what's up. Okay, so we had a little foreshadowing of Mike is a pretty keen person. He's a pretty keen observer. Okay, the gift of observation. I'm sure you saw this in Breaking Bad, but with the group setting, it was here setting up that Mike notices pretty much everything. Not much gets by him. So when Gus confronts him about him knowing all about Nacho and his plans for Hector Salamanca, Mike just responds with, "Listen, I never said I was going to be his bodyguard. I said I wouldn't kill him, but I never said I was going to be his bodyguard. And you knew this. You knew this the whole time, and your henchmen aren't shooting me right now. So why don't you stop gaming? You have an ask here, and why don't you quit fucking around, basically, and tell me what job you want me to do." And that's where it ends. And that's where maybe Gus and Mike start their relationship. We'll see. We'll see where things go. As far as things go, I'll say this again. I'll probably have to say it a couple more episodes. We usually don't cover this stuff here. We're all about wizards and spaceships and superheroes and demons. But the occasional drug deal gone bad, especially with an X-Files writer, is something I like personally. So this is a damn good show, and this was another good show with just your basic drama. But the gun fight scene was brutal, and the way they shot it was wonderful. Because you're seeing it all through Nacho's perspective. So well done. The tension in this episode is palatable. It's right there. You can feel it. You can cut it with a spoon. Yes. So let's get to the chat real quick. A great episode. And I'm glad that people are watching our recaps on this. They're doing pretty well. That's why I kept them going. So had a fun live stream earlier today. Been doing a lot of podcasting lately. I was able to guest on Midnight's Edge and Doomcock's channel, which was an honor. It was great. Yes, Mary says, poor Nacho. Poor Nacho. Yeah, he Jasper Siho says, is it Siho or Sio? Sorry, Jasper. Correct me in there if I said it completely wrong. Yeah, Nacho only shot one of those guys. Yep. The cousins are coming, says Dina McCones. I freaking love the cousins. Are they brothers or cousins? I've heard Salamanca brothers or I don't know. What are they, cousins to somebody else? I always get that confused. But Terminators, they're brilliant. A lot of poor nachos and poor nachos dad. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Um, thought for sure a few times this episode Nacho was getting shot for good. He's gonna have a hard fall, and I'm not gonna like it. Such a great character, says Artemis over easy. He really is. It's gonna be sad to see him go, but I wouldn't be surprised if they flip the script on this one and kind of one of these people is gonna come out okay. One of the, we've Chuck already has not come out okay. Chuck killed himself in a fire, so that's one down, and many more to go. I hope nothing happens to his papa. That would be horrible. Yeah, but that is totally what they're setting up, Dina. You know it. We all know it. We're just afraid. It's just a matter of when. The only person that scares me more than the cousins is Tuco. Yeah. Yeah. They're nasty bunch there, Jasper. I didn't see the show, but I had to stop by and say hi. What's up, Philippe Damick? How are you doing, man? Appreciate you coming by to say hi. Mary says he needs antibiotics. Yeah, he needs antibiotics and freaking morphine or something. Yeah, Tuco is a freak. Is a straight up freak. I know about Tuco. But on the contrary, with the cousins, man, they're so quiet, freaking scary. Good day, Tarka Jedi from Australia. What's up? How's it going? They killed off Tuco in Breaking Bad because his wife didn't like the intensity, so he asked to be cut out. Is that true? I thought he was another show, Jasper, but if that's true, yeah, sometimes actors take that shit home. That happens, man. Tampa, Tampa. What is this? Dashun puppies. Hey guys, I sell puppies. Okay. Um, Puppies are cute. Who doesn't like puppies? I usually save my puppies. You know. Yeah, I usually get mine. Get mine at the SPCA or something like that. Tuco was mental and psychotic. The cousins are pure evil with zero remorse and calculated as hell and fearless. Love the scenes with Mike. Poor Nacho. He seems like a decent guy. Well, yes, as far as a gangster, yeah. Just one of those good person in service of bad people. Game of Thrones has a lot of those. Think about the Onion Knight, Davos. I didn't think it possible. This season for me is the best. What season for you guys has been the best? So clever, so dark. Oh my God, Tuco. For me, I got to see how this season plays out, but it's really, I don't know. I kind of like last season. I did. I like season 3. But this season's really looking like one of the best. And especially if we see the birth of Saul and getting into it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a major cameo this season. It's getting about the time where we're going to get some. I mean, we've already gotten some. Okay, I know that, but I think we're going to get more. Artemis over easy saying he read the same thing, Jasper. So there you go. I wonder if he's regretting that. I hope he's still married to her. I mean, if he's still married to her, fine. You got to listen to your wife, but damn. Yes, mundane artistic. And you can make the mundane artistic. It's just, it's just clever shooting and good music. The focus on the paint. Yeah, you get really tight on it. You see the texture of it. And it was just very artistic and beautiful, actually, in a way. I love that line. Jimmy was brilliant. Yep, I am thinking Jimmy turns into Saul. Yeah. Mike was a cop, so that makes him observant, but I've seen some pretty clueless cops. I'm sure we all have. Cops are people too, Gus and Mike career planning, says Tarka Jedi. Yes. Siho, you got it right the first time. Thank you, Jasper. I would bet that Gus will be giving a job to Mike to kill Nacho. I hope so, because then it will be amazing acting as Mike sort of respects Nacho. Yeah, that's going to be really messed up. But I think you're right, Artemis. Yeah, it just hit me. That's woo. But yeah, Nacho's still important to the show, or maybe not. Maybe he's a casualty at the end of the season. It depends on, it really depends on how far the show's going to go. Honestly, I mean, at the way it's going right now, I can't see it stopping anytime soon unless the writers, like with Breaking Bad, just pull the plug. I mean, Breaking Bad could still be going at this point, to be honest with you. So this show still going was another lease on life for them, and I could see 7 seasons easy, easy. I don't think the job is to kill Nacho, or at least I hope not, says Dina. Maybe not yet, but eventually it will be. They're brothers, but cousins to Tuco. Hector is their uncle. I thought Hector was their uncle, Dina. Okay. So I got, because I heard him referred to as both throughout the series. Haven't really thought about it much. Uh, but thank you, Dina. Appreciate it. I think it's pronounced Dachshund. There you go. It's true about Tuco character. Then he went to Major Crimes. Okay, so so he got out of that show and found a little more chill character. I see. I'm not the only one. Gary has problems saying the names. Yes, I do. Doc. Okay, so no, I have a classic problem of saying names. So Dachshund. There you go. Tampa Dachshund puppies. What's up? You know what? I can't say I've remember seeing the word Dachshund spelled out. And if I did, it was a long time ago. Maybe Gus wants to create a buffer between he and Nacho using Mike. Says John Ulit Jr. Yes. Whatever Gus is thinking, it's probably the right move. I'm guessing. And he's thought about it for a long time. Because he is all about the revenge. Tuco Cruz is also in another show at the time, The Closer. I remember The Closer, Dina. Okay, guys, I have to go to sleep. Early morning. Take care. Tara, Aiva, take care. Good to see you. I think Nacho is going down, sadly, says Mary. I think so. Yeah, I mean, eventually Nacho has to die, I would think. I would think Gus is so trusting of anyone. I don't think he trusts anybody. Gus is not a Gus is wisely probably doesn't trust his mother. You don't make it far in the cartel without trusting many people. So yeah, I don't think I think he knows that eventually he has to get rid of Nacho, even though Nacho's essentially his slave at this point. But yeah, Nacho is I'll say it again, he is damned. It's just a matter of when. And hopefully he can get his a little bit, or at the very least, save his dad. Save his dad. That's a victory. And good night, Tara. And I'm going to be wrapping this one up. It's been a fun talking to you. It's a good show where we're at the end of the chat. I'd like to thank our wonderful patrons. I'll thank everybody in the chat, which is War Girl. Hello, War Girl. Artemis Over Easy. Jody, what is up? Mary Ashmead, Tara Aiva, Dina McCombs, Artemis Over Easy, Tampa Dachshund Puppies. See, there you go. I can eventually get there. Jasper Seho, Dina McCombs, Tarka Jedi. And we had a Rough Girl. What's up, Rough Girl? I didn't see you there earlier. How's it going? And yeah, it's small crowd, but it's okay. It's a fun crowd. We have the best chat on YouTube. Our next show we will be covering is Castle Rock. What's up, Steve Nyman? How's it going? We're going to be covering Castle Rock tomorrow night, 10:15 p.m. I believe we only have 3 episodes of Castle Rock left, but there's a lot of new shows coming. We're going to be, I don't know why, but I'm going to cover The Purge. I've never liked any of the movies, but there's a Purge TV show, so I will give it a shot. I can't see me liking it, but we will try. You never know. Stranger things have happened. And if you like the movies, that's cool. I'm just not a fan of them. We're also covering the Venture Brothers. Yes, it's a cartoon, but is beyond a cartoon. Is a brilliant show, one of the best written shows on TV. So I highly recommend you check it out. You can watch it for free on Adult Swim. It's lots of fun. Going to be covering some Ancient Aliens. Yeah, that's what's on next. So it's Castle Rock, and then I'm taking a couple days off unless some news hits or something like that, because I've been live streaming a lot. But you never know. I could show up on somebody else's stream. I could. So our next Better Call Saul will be at 7:15 p.m., 7:30 p.m., something like that next Monday. And again, I would like to thank our patrons. I'm not going to run the Patreon video. I ran it last video. They're wonderful people, and you get stuff with our Patreon. You can support us from $1 to $15. If you join the $5, $15 levels, that you get stuff. Go to patreon.com/nerdrotic and check it out. Everybody, I hope you have a very good night, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Poor Nacho.